She tried to sacrifice her own mother for wealth. The consequences returned to her instead. Kemisola woke up knowing something was wrong. Money was everywhere, on the bed, on the floor, in her hands. And then she realized the truth. It wasn't something she had earned. It was something her body was rejecting. For a brief, intoxicating moment, Kemisola had tasted the life she had always envied. Before the money came, there was hunger. Kemisola had always hated poverty. Not the poetic kind people romanticize, the we were poor but happy lie. No, she hated the real kind, the kind that smelled of kerosene and damp clothes, the kind that made your stomach growl while your neighbors laughed over pepper soup, the kind that made your mother's hands crack and bleed from washing other people's clothes. Her mother, Iyamoronkeji, had raised her alone since her father died mysteriously when Kemisola was 5. No insurance, no savings, just grief and a small wooden house at the edge of town. Iyamoronkeji sold vegetables in the market. She woke before dawn, balanced her tray on her head and walked barefoot to the roadside. Rain or sun, sickness or strength, she went. Kemisola watched all of it with quiet resentment. "Why are we like this?" she once asked, eyes sharp with anger. "Why is it always us?" Her mother smiled sadly. Life tests some people more than others. But Kemisola didn't want tests. She wanted answers. And more than that, she wanted escape. By 18, she was already dreaming of silk dresses, soft beds, and air-conditioned rooms. She scrolled endlessly through social media, watching girls her age flaunt cars, trips, and expensive phones. "They're not smarter than me," she muttered one night. "They're just luckier." Or so she thought. There was a man everyone avoided, Baba Alamu, a native doctor who lived beyond the river, where the trees grew too quiet. They said people who went to him never returned the same. Kemisola laughed at first when her friends told her about Baba Alamu. But laughter fades quickly when hunger sits beside you at night. When her mother fell sick, really sick, and hospital bills piled up like insults, Kemisola's fear turned into desperation. And desperation, when fed long enough, becomes something ugly. One afternoon, she followed a woman from the market who was suddenly wealthy. The woman walked fast, not noticing Kemisola's careful steps behind her, until she crossed the river and disappeared into the forest. The next day, Kemisola went alone. Baba Alamu's shrine smelled of blood, herbs, and old secrets. Animal skulls hung from strings. Candles flickered without wind. He looked at her once and smiled. "You want wealth," he said, not a question. "Yes," Kemisola whispered. "There is always a price." "I'll pay it," she replied. Baba Alamu chuckled. "Everybody says that until the bill arrives." She swallowed. "What do I need?" He leaned closer. "Someone who gave you life. Someone whose blood still remembers you." Her heart skipped. "No!" He tilted his head. "Then go home." She stood frozen. "You mean?" Her voice shook. "My mother?" "He must not die," he said calmly, "but she must be used. Blood for money. Love for luxury." Her mind screamed. Her heart pounded. But then she remembered the hospital bills, the empty cupboards, the laughter of rich girls online. And slowly, terrifyingly, she nodded. Her mother, weak from illness, trusted her completely. When Kemisola said they were going somewhere for help, Iyamoronkeji smiled. "My daughter, God will bless you." The words cut like knives. At the shrine, her mother cried out as Baba Alamu made small cuts on her palm and forehead, chanting words older than language. Kemisola looked away, tears streaming down her face. But when Baba Alamo handed her a small calabash filled with money the next morning, clean, crisp notes, her tears dried fast. Money came easily after that. Too easily. No matter where she went, money followed. She found cash in her bag, under her pillow, in her shoes. Her account balance grew without explanation. She moved out, bought expensive clothes, changed her phone every month. People called her successful. Her mother, meanwhile, grew thinner, weaker. Every time Kemisola got richer, Iyamora Nkeji grew paler. Her eyes sank. Her voice faded. "Are you all right, Mama?" Kemisola asked once, avoiding her gaze. "I feel empty," her mother whispered, "like something is eating me from inside." Kemisola said nothing. She couldn't. Kemisola did not save. She shopped, as though spending fast enough could outrun the truth behind the money. By night, she partied without pause, as if sleep might give the truth time to catch her. Then came the vomiting. The first time she thought it was food poisoning. The second time she saw the notes clearly. The third time it wouldn't stop. Money poured out of her until her throat bled. At the hospital, doctors were confused. "This is impossible," one whispered. "This defies medicine." At night, Kemisola began to dream. She saw her mother standing in a dark river, blood dripping from her hands, eyes glowing with sorrow. "You used me," her mother said in the dream. "You spent me." Kemisola woke screaming, vomiting coins that clattered loudly on the floor. She ran back to Baba Alamo. "You didn't tell me this would happen," she cried. He stared at her coldly. "You thought blood money comes without consequences? Make it stop!" The ritual has completed its cycle. What you took must return, and interest must be paid. "With what?" she whispered. He smiled slowly. "With you." Her mother died 3 days later. Not from illness, but from emptiness. Her body simply gave up, like a well drained dry. At the funeral, Kemisola stood alone, surrounded by wealth she could no longer enjoy. Her stomach churned violently. She ran behind a tree and vomited one last time. This time, it wasn't money. It was blood. Dark, thick, heavy. The money in her accounts vanished overnight. Her house was seized. Her friends disappeared. Her beauty faded quickly like it had been borrowed. People whispered again. "Did you hear about Kemisola? Money that comes from evil always returns with interest." She now lives in the same wooden house she once despised, alone, haunted, and broke. Sometimes at night, she wakes choking, expecting money. But nothing comes, because the debt has been paid, and the lesson has been written, not in books, but in blood.